Yo Internet, welcome to another episode of Recap Corner. I'm your host, Papa J, talking to everybody about what is going on with the anime that I see with my eyeballs. And apparently, we are talking about Dragon Ball Super, episode 72. I love this episode. Well, I don't necessarily hate it, but then again, it's one of those episodes in which that Goku kind of broke every single limit in which that hit kind of threw up, which almost makes you wonder is that if Goku, if he did actually try to fight Hit when they were in the tournament, you know, things probably would have turned out a lot worse for wear. But from what I understand though is that Hit actually did show Goku a lot of respect, because again, I believe Hit even knew that. I mean, I guess that kind of has something to do with like what is going on with his massive respect of Goku, like looking at their previous fight of Goku. I believe Goku being like the only person who actually asked him to sort of take it to the limit, you know. So I guess that could lead something into his respect for Goku, because again, Goku, he does sort of revive himself thanks to those spoilers, and we also learn that Vado, she did necessarily hire Hit, and later on in the episode, we do find out that Whis has something to do with it. Of course, because again, he kept smiling and talking about it, but by far, the most interesting thing of this entire episode is the fact that we find out that Hit not only has time-based abilities, he also possibly stole Obito's ability to fucking jump into pocket dimensions, and also he can store time and fucking edit real life. Sort of like a certain JoJo villain, also known as Diavolo. And it's the craziest shit ever of him basically being able to not only edit real life, he can also punch invisible energy ki blasts that can go through physical objects. And he can punch one direction and it comes out of another direction. That shit's crazy, I swear. This is by far one of the more interesting villains or supposedly combatants that Goku has had to go up against in a long while. If anything, he sort of reminds me a lot of Tien, like a Tien from all the way back, like when he was first introduced, or pretty much like when Goku fought him the second time at the World Martial Art Tournament. Of Tien basically dropping all these brand new crazy ass moves, and Goku kind of slowly finding a way to get around it. I mean, again, they use this to actually recapture that feeling and moment that kind of actually had you sitting on upon the edge of your seat. Now, pretty much the biggest thing that did kind of have me like crazy though was the fact of when Goku sort of used his super explosive ki to sort of disrupt, break Hit's ability to kind of control time, and him firing a fucking Kamehameha at him. And that shit was amazing, but you know, some of that's, you know, it's like, well, how did he do it? Well, a whole bunch of ingenuity and a whole bunch of recklessness, but again, it's Goku, so pretty much it works out for the best. And they finally dropped that ball at the end of who actually hired Hit to go after Goku, and of course it was Goku. And of course he gives Hit him no time limit and says, "Listen, you man can fight me again, or pretty much you can try again whenever you want." You know, so that's sort of how that goes, and it's actually really fun. You know, and I believe that even took Hit by a surprise, as he was like, "Whoa," you know. It was kind of crazy to see Champa and Vados there as well, watching Goku's fight. But again, it's really amazing. Speaking about, well, now moving on to the previews though, the Great Saiyaman movie is coming out, and Gohan has to be a part of it. And the weirdest thing about this entire thing is that I thought everybody knew that Gohan was Great Saiyaman, and that he was a Saiyan, or at least like that he was the gold fighter, because I kind of remember them showing that like at the World Martial Art Tournament, or at the very least Gohan's friends knew. or most likely you would think that a lot of Gohan's like future like bosses actually knew of his martial arts past, because again he is the Great Saiyaman. And also on top of that, which I believe that the coolest thing about that outfit is the fucking helmet. Well, or at the very least, if you take away the cape and the helmet, it's kind of passable. But still, I think people should know him and that he shouldn't need a stunt double. But whatever. But this is gonna be another quirky episode that I'm actually looking forward to. Tell me what do you think about this down in the comment section. Yo, Internet, welcome to another episode of Recap Corner, and today I'm your host, Papa J, talking to everybody about the animes I've seen with my eyeballs. And apparently we have a small little recap episode going on with Ruby. And what necessarily is the history lesson in which that we learned about in this form of in this episode of Ruby? Well, where does magic come from, and pretty much sort of how it sort of came into being, and also how Weiss's family name grew as big as they did. And